Hmm.
All right, kids, we are officially live. Uh, this is not a regular episode of The Usual Suspects. This is something totally new that we kind of decided to do. Hello, everybody. I am Fourzze FX. I'm joined tonight by Harry Solo Fonts and the one and only Link from Repulse Collectibles. 1 second. Hey, do me a favor. Text your sister and tell her I can't answer right now, please.
Yeah, you do that.
Juansith will be joining us. He's actually getting connected at his spot as we speak. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So the purpose of tonight is quite simple. This is a gathering of Lightsaber font creators, meeting of the minds. We're going to hang out. We're going to chill. We're going to answer questions. We're going to talk. We're going to talk, man. We're just going to chill. That's really all there is. That's really all there is to this. So let me go ahead and just start the ball by introducing the guy to my right on the screen. That would be Harry Solo Fonts. Harry, what's up,
Hello.
dude?
How you doing, man? Good to see you guys.
Get some folks up here. Boom. Oh, I know this guy.
is
My
that
Hey.
co-host.
is that our boy Johannan?
That's our boy.
Johnny Kestis.
I know that guy. He's on the screen.
Cal Chestis.
Craig Kenobi from Instagram.
Hey, Craig. I know
made it.
Craig. What's up, Craig?
Yeah, man.
Yo.
What's up?
And to the south of me is from Repulse Collectibles. We have the one and only Link.
Howdy.
What's up, Link?
So,
Yeah, man. Good to see you guys. Thanks for inviting me. I'm actually pretty excited, man. And especially, I hope Juansith can get past the tech issues because I'm also super excited to chill with him as I've never really had the opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.
so, all right. Well, so good evening to everybody in the comments section. So what we're gonna do while Juansith is still getting connected and getting hooked up here, we're gonna kind of just talk about first off who the heck we are, where you can find us, what we do, what we've done, where we are as creators in our community, and yeah, dude, we go from there. So, Harry, you wanna since you're more or less our new blood,
Make me go
you want to
first.
get started?
All right, sure, why not? So, my name's Harry Solo. You can find me on right here, harrysolofonts.com. I'm also on saberfont.com. I partner with them as well. Yeah, so like Force said, I'm a bit newer to the scene. Opened up officially last summer. My mission with Sound is just to bring you guys something unique. I really enjoy doing custom commissions for y'all and making your dreams come to life when it comes to sound fonts for your sabers. No idea is really too wild for me. I really love the challenge of hitting those crazy concepts. There's a couple I'm working on right now I can't quite talk about, but you'll see what I'm talking about. My next release is going to be coming in a few days. It's going to be called Orbital. It's a commission for Tierfon Orbital. He's an awesome vendor on Etsy. He's making some really cool custom crafted sabers and some other cool stuff as well. Go check him out. Stay tuned on my socials. You can find me pretty much everywhere. Yeah, I'm going to have a demo coming up in just a couple days for Orbital. And yeah, thanks for having me on the stream. I'm excited for this.
Absolutely, dude. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, man, it's good to have you. I'm actually I've been really loving your work, Harry, and I'm
Thanks, man.
excited that you're getting so much reception from the community. That's fantastic. And you know, you've got my support, man. So I'm glad we're getting to know you better, and yeah, it's gonna be good. So for me, There, and we were just talking about this before the show went live, and I said, of course, there's a lot of people in the community that know of me and know I've been around a long time, but there's tons of people that still have no idea who I am, where I come from. So my name is Brandon, but I go by Link. The reason I go by Link is, well, really, it's my favorite video game character, but that's the avatar name or whatever you want to call it, screen name I chose way back in 2010 when I first joined the custom lightsaber hobby. And I really didn't start making sound fonts until about 2011. And as soon as I started making them, I was really inspired by Matthew, who is everyone probably knows as Novastar. Novastar is basically the first real sound font maker in the hobby because he partnered with Plector when Plector invented the crystal focus. So Novastar was my big inspiration to start doing it. And yeah, 2011, I started making sound fonts, and I was known back then as Saberlink Studios, and I was known by that name for years and years. And then in I think 2019, I broke off and went on my own and did Repulse Custom Sounds, my own website, and then that later evolved into now Repulse Collectibles. So I've been making sound fonts for like a little more than 10 years. I did have a little bit of a break there for a while, and then when I came back to the hobby, I met Fourzze, and he kind of helped me learn Smooth Swing, because when I came back, Smooth Swing was the new hotness on the scene. So he helped kind of get me up to speed on that, which was great. And yeah, man, I'm still enjoying making fonts. I have more than 60 available on repulsecollectibles.com that are all Smooth Swing, of course. They're ready to go for Xeno, for Golden Harvest, Profi, and CFX. And yeah, I mean, just like I said, right now I'm sitting on more than 60. I think it might even be more than 70. I haven't counted in a while. But I've got a little bit of everything for everyone. I've got out of universe, I've got in universe, I've got a lot of things separated by collections. And so that's where you're going to find the majority of my work, or basically all of it. I don't currently host it anywhere else. So repulsecollectibles.com is the main place. And yeah, like Harry, I've also taken commissions over the years, and I took some recently. I actually just finished one up for somebody, and I don't get near as much commission work these days as some other people. And I haven't really advertised a whole lot lately either. So if you haven't heard of me and this is the first time you're finding me, that's fine, because I haven't really been posting a lot in the last few months. I've been working on a lot of background projects. So even though I'm a font maker by trade, Repulse Collectibles' goal in the end is to end up being a Saber company. And I do have my first custom Saber. It's a design that's ready to go from the manufacturer. Basically, where I'm sitting now is the funding. So once I have the money, I can get it off the ground, and it's based on Tron, funny enough. And yeah, later in the year when I have more development, I'm going to be posting a whole bunch of stuff. So keep an eye out on that. So that's basically it for me. Yeah. So I hear Zelda music or Final Fantasy or something. Yep,
I noticed that too.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Thanks for that. And everybody, please go check out Link.
Yeah, if you guys want, go ahead and put your respective websites up in the comments sections, so folks can get to there. And as we continue throughout the show, what we're going to do is we're going to navigate the individual sites. What I'll do is I'll share a screen, and we'll navigate the sites and show people where you can be found and what it is you do and how easy it is to get to you. So, all right. If you don't know me by now, my name is Aaron. I run by the handle Fourzze FX. I started in this hobby in 2015, long ago. Hey, son, can you turn that down just a little bit? Just a little bit. That 8-bit hotness. I started off as Fonts by Fourzze, back on saberfont.com. I'll give you the story when we get to the stories. But since then, I shifted from Saber Font over to Repulse Collectibles, which at the time was Repulse Custom Sounds, under the invitation of Brandon, and became Fourzze FX. Johnny Darkwolf at the time called it Fourzze 2.0, which was funny. I got into the Smooth Swing game. A lot of my and we kind of shifted out of legacy stuff and into Smooth Swing stuff, and I kind of had to pick and choose what I wanted to do as far as Smooth Swing was concerned. For me, fonts are not a quantity thing. They're not a thing of. I'm not about quantity. I am about quality. I am about passion projects, and if I don't feel confident in a font, in the subject matter pertaining to a font, I don't do it. I like to be able to be fully immersed in what it is I do. It's a good thing, and it's a bad thing. You know, I don't have as much work to show as literally just about everybody else at this point. But like I said, many clocked hours have gone into the stuff that I've done, and the proof is in the pudding. So that's how things are going to continue to be when it comes to my fonts. Now, at the moment, I am very pleased to say I am finalizing, not just working on, finalizing my official relaunch, which is going to be happening within the next maximum 2 weeks. Maximum. This is going to be done before March is over. Cheeto's Born is in the house. What is going on? Let me check on Juan really quick. I messaged him. He is getting his tech stuff, just trying to get hooked up to StreamYard. So we're going to get him on here one way or another. So that's how that's going to roll. So, what I want to do is I kind of want to go around the screen and allow each one of us to ask one question. But then I want to throw it to the comment section. Matter of fact, over in the comment section, let's go ahead and say hey to everybody. We've got Cheeto.
What's up, Cheeto?
Freaking love Cheeto. He's made it to all my live streams, and I love that guy. Of course, we have Craig Kenobi from Instagram. We have my co-host on The Usual Suspects. That would be my boy Aaron Yohanan from Shadowtech Sabers. All right, Aaron. I'm here. We're all here. So Harry, is there anything you have a question? You have a question for either of us? This vet right here.
Oh, well, yeah, actually, Link. So I know you are back around the time when I was kind of getting official. I think was about the time you were kind of taking a hiatus, about last year from your thing, and now I think it's kind of you're shifting gears from doing just sound fonts, right? So now you're doing. I know you're selling Sabers now, and I've seen some pretty awesome stuff available on your site. Is there anything else that you got in the works right now that you're planning on doing that you can talk about, or any other gears that you're shifting into besides sound fonts and Sabers, or
nothing outside of yeah, thanks for the question. So nothing outside of fonts or Sabers with Repulse as far as that goes. I think definitely the focus has shifted towards trying to do Sabers. As far as the little bit of inventory I've had recently, I did purchase some inventory this past November from LGT and signed up to be a vendor with them. And I just bought a very small batch. I think I only got maybe 16 or 17 hilts total. Just a small run, just a little bit of a catalog product, and basically it was slow going, and as I'm learning, there's a lot of other vendors out there for LGT, and there's a lot of great ones. Johnny from Dark Wolf, of course, is a good friend of ours, and and then there's so many others, right? I think.
Hey, Brandon.
Oh, yeah. Is he here?
I've been waiting a long time, so
yeah,
I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Brandon, allow me to introduce you for the first time in 10 years. Say hello to Juansith.
Hey!
Oh my God! Look at this guy. Hey, man.
Finally.
Yeah,
The
dude.
man, the
Let's
myth,
Wow.
the legend.
go! Woo!
How are you, man?
Stressed.
Stress?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
I had to exercise my computer for
You
this
had to
to work.
pray to the Safari gods.
Yeah.
No, Safari doesn't work.
Oh wow.
I
Oh,
had
man.
to download Firefox and just remove a ton of crap that I have here.
Oh
Well, you
my
made it.
God.
Yeah, we're
Hey,
glad to have
hello,
you, man.
Boris, Harry.
Yeah.
10
Clint.
years, you two. 10 freaking years.
And,
Like,
and
what's
and I was
up?
telling, hey, I was telling Fours, I was like, dude, I'm legitimately excited because we've spoke through text and message like on and off here and there, arbitrarily, but we never really got the opportunity, or maybe we were just too busy, or I mean, it's just so it's nice to have the opportunity to finally talk with you, man. So, man, how you been? How's things going? I know you're always pumping out fonts, so.
Thank you. No, thank you for inviting me.
Mhm.
Juan, I'm going to give you the floor because we've all had the floor just to kind of say hello. So let me give you the floor for a few minutes just to kind of say hey to everybody. Kelborn. Oh my God, Kelborn's here. Nice. From Discord.
Yeah.
And
Kelborn.
Kelborn also used to run with me on Galaxy of Heroes in the same guild until he got like way up here and I'm still way down here. So there's that.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
So Juan, dude, so nice to finally meet you, bro. Let me give you the floor. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what you're about, where you are, and dude, I'm excited.
Hello there.
Hey,
Hello
there you go. Hello there.
Juansith here. Fun artist. I hope someone of you recognize my work. And yeah, I couldn't deny this meeting with you guys, that which we have talked through the years. Share some thoughts about where are we going to take our works and everything. So yeah, it's the first time. I've never participated to a live before, so this is exciting for all of us, I think, as a community.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
So hello
Absolutely, man.
everyone, and
So Juan, tell everybody where you can be found officially.
officially, well, on the forums on Facebook, I have my website on Facebook as well. Well, my page called Juansith Saber Fonts. I'm on Discord as well.
Saber font, of course.
Saber Font. That's the only place where I get where I submit all my work.
Okay.
So
Yep.
far.
And you've been there. You've been at Saber font the whole time since they created it, because I was there with you, right?
Yeah. Well, it was weird for me because for 6 years I didn't want to um, belong to Saber Font. Don't ask me why. I didn't want to sell my fonts.
Right. Yeah. Actually, yeah, you did join later, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. I
Now I
started.
remember.
My first font was the Zelda Ocarina of Time, and I did it back in 2000.
Yes, I remember that.
And
Oh man.
Diana and Alan, which are pretty good friends from Vader's Vault, they made Saber Font, and they, for like a couple of years, they told me, why don't you want to belong to Saber Font? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just like, so what I did for 5-6 years was just to release some specific fonts for specific runs. Before, you wouldn't get you wouldn't have sabers all around. It was just, oh, we're going to release a run of 10 Luke Skywalker sabers, and that's all there was.
Yeah.
Getting a crystal focus was just like a,
Oh man, that's the yeah. You're right, because like in 2011 they were just coming off of CF 4.3, and
Yeah.
I think right in like the end of 2010 2011 was CF 5. That was the new thing.
yeah.
And but you're right. But you not everybody could get
No.
a crystal focus the way you can just go buy a crystal or a Prophy now, or a golden harvest. Like you can just, anyone can just go buy them at any time of the day now. But back then, these were expensive, more expensive, and they were much less supply.
And they were pretty sought after, to
Yes.
the point where you had to buy a $1,500 saber just to like a horrible hilt. only to
To
take
gut
out
it.
the crystal
Yeah.
focus and give it to an installer. So yeah, you would spend like $2,200 on a saver, a crystal focus 5 or a 4.3, which didn't even have anything that we have now. So
Yeah.
it was kind of pretentious for me to just, hey, I'm going to sell my fonts. I knew a couple of them which did. Um, Legendary. Oh, Nova Star. He was
Yes.
a legend.
I was talking about him earlier. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Nova Star.
I mentioned him as my inspiration when I started doing it because he had such a huge library of sounds, and he really was the first one.
Yeah, I mean, 7, 8 years ago, he reached 100
Color
fonts.
extenders.
So it was
Three
like
300 he did.
300.
No, Nova
300.
Star has done over 300 fonts.
I think his final count was 320.
320 or something. Yeah. Crazy.
But you know what's funny, Juan? Because if you recall, if you remember the crystal shard,
Oh my god.
there was only one way you could get it, and
Yeah.
it was better
Well-
than a nano,
well,
but not as
It
good as a
was
focus.
Well, they had
By
a contract. They had a contract for installations only
This
for
has a
that board.
crystal shard.
Oh wow.
Yeah. This
Oh my
is
nice
gosh.
this is an LDM Mark 6 with crystal.
LDM. I just talked to him.
Wow.
I just talked to LDM a few months ago. I just reached out to him about something to get some manufacturing pricing, and so he still operates. He's still very much in the community. He still does a lot of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, back then it was LDM, Alan, Vader's Ball. It was Mad Cow, and
Oh,
well,
Rob,
Master
yeah.
Master Yoda,
Rob.
which was like, yeah,
Yeah, Yoda from FX Sabers. Yeah, he ran the Graflex shop and everything, right?
I'm not sure if he ran the Graphics shop, but he ran.
Or he got awards for Graflexes that he used to build. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was through them or if they were separate, but yeah, he was always known for his Graflexes.
yeah, which is
Yeah. Oh, Juansith, dude, he knows,
He's
man.
got
He's got
it.
him. He's got him.
oh my. I mean, almost 15 years in the hobby. I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta. This is a Master Yoda.
Oh man,
graph.
what year was that?
Wow.
This was 2009.
9. Wow.
Dang.
So that's the thing. Juansith's been in the hobby much longer than me, but I don't. When did you start making fonts?
2009 for especially for this.
Okay, so
this-
yeah,
for
you
this
so you
saber.
beat you've been along longer than me. I joined the hobby in 2010, but I don't think I actually started making fonts until 2011.
0.
Yeah.
The in 2009 there's one video which I saw on YouTube which led me to font making, which was Mad Cow showing his B2 Luke Skywalker.
Oh man, with the Bespin font?
I think
Or
it was
Hoth?
the best.
Was it Bespin or Hoth?
I think it was Bespin.
Bespin? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a classic.
Yeah, back then it was just FX Sabers, which had
Right.
like a horrible 2 clashes which sounded like a gong, like a Chinese gong and everything.
Yeah.
It was so frustrating. And I saw that video and I knew that there was a whole universe like out there with smiths and geniuses like Erv.
Yeah.
It was Crystal Focus, and the other board was
Ultra
Ultra Sabers, Ultrasound.
Yeah, Ultra Sabers. They had the did they even have it back in 2010, 2011? Did they have a soundboard? The
Yeah, it
Obsidian?
was the
Obsidian
Ultrasound.
new
The
back
Obsidian.
Yeah, Ultrasound.
I
Which
think
the-
so. Yeah. I think it
Our-
was-
Ultra
Oh,
Sabers.
oh no! I know what you're talking about, Juansith. Yeah, they called it ultrasound, and it was a really like Obsidian was a huge upgrade to what
Yeah.
ultrasound was.
yeah,
Ultrasound was almost not better than the master replica boards they used to make for the licensed hilts. I remember the ultrasound, and then Makoto had the Super One, I think, later in like 2010. Makoto
Yeah.
Sai.
yeah. So much has changed in a decade of fandom.
Oh man, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting how NeoPixels and like this has a Crystal Focus 4, and now 10 years later you have a Profi.
It's nuts.
This hilt was impossible back then because the crystal focus was huge, so you couldn't really get them on like small hills or accurate hills. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's pretty nice. It's exciting. It's exciting to see you guys.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
too, man. Well, now that we're all here, let's continue on with what we had going on. So everybody pretty much knows where to find each other at this point. Harry, you had your question for Link. Link, you were just finishing up answering what your next game plan was for Harry.
Yeah, I'll be quick. So, basically, the Tron Saber is something that, again, everything's basically ready to go to launch that, minus like paying for it, and that's what I'm saving up for. Of course, once that gets closer to happening and getting into production, I'll be doing a full marketing blast to talk about that. Font wise, I was just telling Fours earlier today in a phone call. I think I have an idea for what I want to do for my next step. I think you may not see anything new from me font wise for a long time, with one exception being the Kenobi show when it comes out. So that's all I'm ready to say about that. That's all I got to
Cool.
say about that.
We were just discussing that, but you know what? I'll mention that in a little bit because that's gonna kind of be a group of us sort of thing I want to answer. Link, pick somebody, ask a question.
Oh man. Oh geez. Oh, Juansith. So you and I, man, we've known of each other for many years, and this is the first time we've really gotten to talk proper and see each other. I gotta say, out of all the things you've worked on since you've been in the hobby, what fonts would you say are your personal favorites? And they don't have to be yours. They could be yours or somebody else's. What is like your most favorite fonts? And I'll just do a double question. And then who's your favorite Star Wars character overall?
Favorite fonts gotta be my ESP Legends, my
There you go.
Legends fonts, because I learned how to make fonts with them. So yeah, I don't have like my preference is ESB Legends first. Second one is A New Hope Legends, and third one Return of the Jedi. But just because I began with ESB Legends, and it was such a hard work. It was hours and hours of just figuring out. This was back then in 2010 when not even the Blu-rays when like came out. So the sources were like very scarce. So I had to, plug in my computer in a weird way to my VCR and just extract the clips of Bespin and it wasn't not even about that, about accuracy, but also they have ambience for whoever that hasn't heard my Legends fonts. It's not just a Vader inspired font from US Empire Strikes Back, but it also has like the carbon freezing sound effects, and you have dialogues from Vader. So yeah, that has to be my favorite. And my favorite character, well, Darth Vader, for the same reason. Yeah.
Of course, man. Absolutely. That's
Good
fantastic.
choice.
And you know what? Those ESB Legends fonts of yours are they really are iconic in the hobby. I remember when you came out with them, and I do remember the work you put in very clearly. And I think the community even back then appreciated and recognized it for what it was. So, and that really kind of seemed to, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that kind of seemed to become your forte in the way you like to create, which was as screen accurate as possible. That seems to
Yeah.
be what you like the most to do when you do your work, is like, how can I get this to be the most screen accurate that it possibly can? And look, for anybody watching out there, like you said, back then they didn't have Blu-rays or nothing, so that was way harder than it is now. But even now,
Yeah.
it's still a lot of work to go screen accurate. I've even tried it on some of my fonts, and I've done decent, but I got to be honest, like I take a different path because it is so much work. I do hard work, but in different ways. And we were talking Fourzze, actually, was it in the Usual Suspects we were talking about when we were promoting other font makers and saying, guys, and Harry, you were there too, and I said, it's important for the community to try and try other people's fonts and go buy some from 3 or 4 or 5 different font makers and just give it a shot, because everybody has this awesome unique style, right? And Juansith, I know this, but for the community, like you guys, if y'all haven't bought from Juansith, you want to talk about screen accurate and someone that really takes time out of their day to make sure it's as perfect as a human possibly can. You're not going to be disappointed. And I've known this guy for a very long time, and his work is outstanding.
Thanks a lot. And just to like, just so it doesn't, I'm gonna turn on this saver. I haven't turned it on, and let me. Oh wait.
Kill key.
So this is the font that I personally play most of the time, and I revise and revise, which is Darth Vader, Empire Strikes Back. And my most treasured sound that I achieved is when he first turns on his lightsaber. Let me see if no.
That yes.
And now how it fades.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So that back then, and I achieved that in 2010, and it was 6 hours of just playing the film and just trying to figure out the exact timing, and I just play it. That's what it cannot get lost. I understand that now technology can make you like Harry Solfonts, like you, Fourzze, and Link, and myself, where we can just today's font. It's just 4 sins, hate or fear. You can like play with tremolo and chorus and all these effects, but what it really comes down, it's that it's like almost a historic piece where we are taking something from the film and we're putting it in everybody's Sabers, and that's what I treasure. That's why my key meaning to font making is accuracy. I want to capture that which brought us to lightsabers and our love for Star Wars. Yeah.
It's just
And
perfect.
it's like there's those fundamental concepts that go into those classic fonts, especially, which really highlight those fundamental concepts, which I love so much. I mean, when you put up like an ESB or a New Hope font, and it has that vintage like lo-fi sound to it, I love that so much. And on the other side of the coin, I like making really digital, crunchy, explosive, synthesized sounds, like Juan was saying, that is only possible with technology we can do now. But what you don't, I think what some of us artists, what I would hope all of us fontsmiths would do at the end of the day, is you don't lose those fundamental concepts between the two, and like what Link said and what we talked about on our last stream, regardless of what your font theme is and what you have to bring to the table with your artistic spin on it, if you capture those fundamentals, like how Ben Burt was just standing in front of a speaker and waving a shotgun mic back and forth in front of it to capture those raw analog sounds, how are we using those concepts to apply them to this new technology, like the CFX board or stuff like that, to where we can actually make it live on our Saber? And I just love that, and I love seeing everybody's way that they do that and how they make them come to life using those fundamental concepts with the new technology. It's just so awesome.
One thing that I'll kind of attribute to something that Juansith said when he's talking about the accuracy, and that's for him the reason why we're all here, right? Is just and when you, the way I interpreted that was that when you create your fonts, it's about preservation of the core, preservation of the, not just the sound, but the emotion that comes with the sound and why and how it affects us, right? Now, I know all of us here incorporate that into our work in some form or fashion in certain fonts, and then there's a lot of times, like Harry said, where we'll have newer technology based things and more out of the universe type things, but we all still will make stuff that is Star Wars centric, that kind of plays homage to the originals. For me, I got popular back in the day for an out of universe font, Transform. That's the one that really made me popular back then, and it's just nothing to do with Star Wars.
But people really dug it,
and yeah, people liked it. But when we're talking about preservation, most recently when I released my cinematic collection, it's a package of 20 fonts. Now, I didn't go full screen accuracy on all of them, but there were a couple that I tried my hardest to do so. And that one of them was called the Farm Boy, which is my Luke, A New Hope font. And my Vader, my ESB Vader font, which is called the Father. I spent the most time on the Father. Like Juansith, I tried my best to get as screen accurate to the movie as I could, and with extra theatrical stuff like maybe his breathing, or maybe his like the higher and lower pitch up and down of the hum in different spots. And I really tried my hardest to get, for that same reason, for preservation purposes, because Empire is my all-time favorite Star Wars movie. Like, out of all of them, Empire to me is the holy grail. So when I did the Father, I wanted to try my best. So Juansith, the Father, my font called the Father, would be my version of your ESB Vader Legends. That's now, I'm not gonna say that mine would be as good as yours or what have you. This is all for people to buy the font and decide for themselves, of course. But to me, it's not even about that. It's about, I took the similar approach with that font like you did with your Legends Vader font, because I'm like you. Vader's not my number one favorite character, but he's up there the same with my favorites, right? Because for me, Star Wars is too many good characters to have a number one favorite. But anyway, yeah, I love the approach, and I want to stress again to the viewers out there, Juansith, I really don't know any other font maker who, like, we all take similar approach, but I gotta, Juansith really does put, and has for many years, and I've known this, put just a different level of attention into his work that I think you all will very much appreciate.
Oh, I think, and that's I wanted to ask you three, each of you, which do you think is your take on font making? When you go over a font project, what do you think is your style or your calling in the font making thing?
I guess Harry's it.
I guess it's me first, eh? All right. Well, so being, I am a bit younger of a guy, and like I am newer into this community. That doesn't really, reflect upon my mindset when I come to making a font, because I'm not gonna get all into my background on audio and stuff, but I've been doing music and sound stuff for so long, for almost like my entire life now, and Star Wars has been with me throughout my entire life now, and it's things like sci-fi and space fantasy, and growing up and seeing cool like visuals and sound effects, and like seeing these things get more and more advanced as I get older, and now I'm at the stage where I'm making my moves in my life, and I'm not just a kid anymore, right? I'm 27, almost 28, right? So when I sit down to a font, I haven't tackled the screen accurate canon stuff yet. That hasn't really been my mission. I haven't felt a strong drive to do that, because I know there are people out there like Juan, especially, who can do that so well, where it's like, I'm not saying, I'm afraid to try, but it's like, give the credit is due there, where it's like, hey, if I know, I'll go get his font if I want that. If I want a screen accurate canon font, ESB, gonna go there for Juan. But when I try to make a font, I look at it, how can I incorporate the skills and the technology and the tools that I've learned throughout my life in making music and incorporate that with my love of sci-fi and fantasy outside of Star Wars and in Star Wars, and how can I combine those two things together and let my imagination soar. um, I really enjoy making custom commissions because I love the crazy ideas that people come to me with. And then also I like making in my head like a character, like my font Destabilize.
Mhm.
I kind of came up with a little story for that, being that it was a assembled saber made from a criminal underworld, like bounty hunters that had found an old Jedi text years and years and years after Order 66 that explained how to assemble a lightsaber. So they tried to do it themselves, but it kind of ended up wrong. That's why it comes out sounding so distorted, and that, like you were saying, with the tremolo and all the crazy sounds, it just goes super far out there. And when I'm making the sounds, I hear it in my head of like what I envision the character saber doing. Like, what can I see that saber doing in this imaginary story that I've come up with for this font? And I try to kind of do that for all of my fonts, and like Stasis is a representation of Destiny.
I'm a fan.
I'm a big fan of that game, and just
We'll have to talk about Destiny because I've been playing since they came out with it long ago.
Yeah, I haven't touched the game, in a while myself, but just I love the world that they've established in that game, and the characters and
and their sound design.
Yeah, the sound design is just peak, and
We'll have to talk about that sometime.
Absolutely, but
sorry. By the way, Harry, did you submit the your Destiny font to the new Profi Fed 263 Phase 3?
No, I did not. I don't think I have.
Because I saw a Destiny font today, earlier, and I thought, like, I said, wow, there's a Destiny font. Interesting.
It might. I can't. I sent him a couple. I can't remember exactly which ones they were off the top of my head, but yeah, this one is just like a a stasis themed inspired one from the abilities in the game. But I like, just circling back to your question. I try to hit every font with a theme and approach it in a new way. So how can I bring something different to the table here that hasn't been thought about maybe, or done or presented by another Smith before? Because I'm a really big believer in that we all have something really awesome to offer to this community. So I want to be the guy that brings something totally wild and balls to the walls out there to give you something unique for your saber, where you're just like, nobody's got anything like that. That's what I love doing.
Awesome.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Oh, me. My approach to font making and what is that the question? How do I choose, like, how I'm going to approach making fonts?
Yeah, your approach, yeah.
Okay, so my answer is probably not as exciting. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of similarities in what Harry said. I don't know that I've ever been particular with it has to be something that doesn't exist or has to be this. I think for me, so while I'm not a musician, music is a very big deal in my life, and everything with me starts usually with music of some kind, whether it be part of an original soundtrack of a movie, show, or video game, or just something related to whatever the project is. Or it could just be, a lot of times, to be honest, especially without a universe stuff, I'll think of, like, say, for instance, a sci-fi movie or a game or something, and just the sounds that I hear from that material triggers something in my brain that says, you know what? And I start thinking about how I could manipulate it and how it would perform in the hand in a lightsaber prop. And so I think for me, it's this more spontaneous, creative spark that'll just happen from time to time. And the problem with me is, and Fourzze knows this for a fact, if I get that spark of creativity, I just jump in, head first, and I'll just be working on that font or fonts for like weeks until it's just done. Like
Months.
the Visions collection. Well, the cinematic collection was nuts. I bit off way more than I could chew with that, but I ended up following through because I was like, well, we'll get to the Visions one in a minute, but the cinematic collection is 20. I had originally decided to do the cinematic collection as only about like 17 different fonts. And then I said, well, that's an odd number. And I actually kind of want to make the Farm Boy. So I had to think of like two others to round it out to 20. And that took me months to finish. Now,
Too freaking long.
it did, and that's my fault because I took a break in between. Now, the Visions collection was something that when Visions came out, I knew I wanted to make at least one or two fonts on Ronin and Koru, but I sat on it for a while, many months. Visions has been out now for quite some time. And then some couple months ago, I just got this. I was going through the Visions episodes because I was getting ready to make my Ronin font, and the more I started listening to the episodes, the more those creative sparks started hitting me. And I said, and then it just boom, I get this motivation, and literally in like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, I pumped these out because I was just nonstop going through everything, seeing how I wanted to do it. And yeah, so me, when I get inspired to do something, it almost exclusively now, it's never going to be just one, which is kind of ridiculous, but that's how I work. Now with this, the out of this collection, one of my most favorites besides Ronin is the Elder, and funny enough, TOB1. Now the reason I like those is because of the sound effects. TOB1, his hum is actually unique. It took a minute for me to listen to it, and I actually could not source his hum from the show. It was impossible to do. So I literally had to try my best to recreate it. I got very close. Probably closer than anybody else is going to get. So I actually had fun with that, and I didn't really care for this episode so much, but again, that creative spark, it presented a challenge. It said, well, if I have to recreate this, how can I do that, right? I think I can do it, and I jumped in. I did the
Now I'm
same.
intrigued.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Now, I built this big font package for Bindu Armory, and one of those fonts was called Legacy. It's for Tron. Now, that font was a huge inspiration, and Juansith, you're going to enjoy this. So everybody knows that the last time a proper Tron font was created was by Novastar in 2010, and he did two versions. He did cinematic and then disc only. But those aren't smooth swing, right? So when Bindu Armory commissioned me, he's like, this is the one I want the most is Tron, and I knew right then and there that I had to give it my all. And let me tell you something, that font challenged me almost as much as my Darkstar font, which long story short, and I'll wrap it up, is a multi-layered approach to not only the hum, but a lot of auxiliary sounds that go in there too. The Legacy font I did for Bindu is probably my second most difficult font I've ever created, next to Darkstar. Darkstar is my custom take on the Darksaber, and yeah,
Legend.
go check it out. That's nuts. But
Legend.
so I think to sum it up, sorry for the long-winded answer. I think the sum up is my creative process really comes from spontaneous inspiration, whether it be I'm challenged because I need to recreate something, or I think the sound is really cool, or I heard some piece of music that goes to a piece of content that said, I just have to do this. Like when Fallen Order came out, all his saber sounds, every color was unique. And I said, that's a challenge. That's unique. That's cool. Let's go. So I guess it just really depends for me, man. I'm all over the place, but once I commit, I'm all in.
Wow. Awesome.
I have to want it, and I have to want it bad. With me, I've always pushed quality over quantity. For somebody, there are those in this community, and Brandon's got me by the throat on this. I hold on to stuff, and that's just kind of who I am. There are things that are said to me over the years. You could go date back to my childhood. There are things that are said to me that I hold on to, that I remember, and I take one way or another. That's call it a character flaw. One of the things that I've held on to, and it's been said to me more than a few times, is, geez, Fourzze, you've been here so long, and these guys are lapping you. Like, you don't have excuses. You should have more fonts out. You don't have excuses, so we don't want to hear it. Not going to tell you who, and I'm not going to tell you when. Just know it was said. And I hold on to things like that. But damn if I don't put quality out. When I put a font out, I have to want it bad enough. People will argue. Best thing I ever put out was Over My Helmet, which is my Spaceballs font. I had a hell of a time putting that out. First of all, I laughed very hard. Going back to Spaceballs. Spaceballs was something from my childhood. I loved it. And I had a great time doing it, but that was not my passion project. Everybody knows that I named that thing over there after Luke Skywalker.
Wow.
Guess my daughter's name. And that movie is a representation of my passion in life. Return of the Jedi is the one movie that you can put me on a deserted island with, and that's the only thing I'll watch for the rest of my life, and I'd be happy. My font that I did, Daddy Issues, later on, Daddy Issues Complete. That's my everything font. That's the font that that's me. Luke Skywalker is my hero. He's somebody, everybody has your fictitious hero. He was mine. He always was, enough to name my kids after him. I mean, I finally got my Solo's Hold V2 saber. I mean, I got the best friends in the world. They've got me literally my shrine to Return of the Jedi, and Daddy Issues was my font. And I'll tell you what, Juan, I chased that font. I chased that font for accuracy. I chased that font for passion. But there's one thing that I will say. In terms of the use of the word accuracy, because all of us can deliver accuracy in different ways. For you, you deliver accuracy in a way that it makes you remember. It takes you back to maybe the first time you saw it, and you saw that lightsaber light up, and you saw Vader's light up, and you saw them go, and you were like, oh man, this is it. This is the last time, and they're gonna do this. This is good. This is the end. This is the big climactic moment, and you remember the score that went with it, and you remember the background sounds, and you remember the Emperor cackling. And you deliver that so freaking well. And to others in the community, accuracy may mean something different. Accuracy may mean that pop hiss sound where Vader's talking to him, and you can't have that font without that sound. Others, it might be Luke's very, very distinct retraction. The only time it's ever used in the entire saga is only in that movie.
Yeah.
So to others, it may just be that one sound that's like, you hear it and it's, oh. To me, it's how I remember it as a child. I remember the first time I saw Luke and Vader go when I was probably 10 or 11 on my grandma's VHS tape that she recorded off of HBO, and she gave it to my dad, and I would sit there like on a Sunday morning, everybody's still sleeping, and I'm watching it. And my mom's got this little wooden I don't even know what sort of it looked like a dumbbell. It was like a sewing tool, but I thought I used it as a lightsaber because I was a kid and I was in my head and I was having fun. And I wanted Daddy Issues to be the way I felt when I was 11, watching it, and the way I remember hearing it. So of course that's going to be different from the way you do it, different from the way Brandon did it, different from the way the other artists in the community did it. And that's kind of how I do my fonts. They have to take me somewhere, and when I'm there, I can create. It wasn't just the nostalgia either. I mean, there were some projects, and then I'll end my answer with this. There were some projects that I was just bound and determined to do differently. There are things that I haven't tackled, and I said to myself in the very beginning, back in 2017, 17 is when I went on Saberfont. 15 is when I started because I hated what Ultra Sabers had on their sabers, and I wanted to do something different. 17 is when I went official. But there were so many artists. Like, even in 17, Nova Star had hundreds. You had a bunch. Link was still Saber Link. But between all of you, Machinimax, Rob, my God, Rob, Bespin 2, come on. There was just freaking much.
Calibrate, man. His
Calibrate.
Korriban, his Dooku font.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, and there was, it was Anakin. And I said to myself in the very beginning, when I did my very first font I ever did was a Starkiller font. It was called Vengeance Starkiller. I did it because I was in love with the hilt that Darth Alice put out, the Wasp Waist. Clint, if you're watching, if you remember the Wasp Waist, Darth Alice put that out, and I was drooling over it, and I was like, I have to make this font, and I have to impress Darth Alice with it. Like, that was my goal. So there were so many fonts, and there were so many people, and I'm like, okay, I am not gonna just make an Anakin font. I'm not just gonna make an Ahsoka. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait, and honestly, I'm still waiting. I still haven't done a classic Luke. I still haven't done a classic Ben. There are things that I just refuse to touch because it's not time yet. Because I want my skill set to be there, and I want to go into it absolutely as confident as I did with Jedi, as I did with Malgus, as I did with Spaceballs. You know, it's all there. And that, if it's not worth pursuing, I'm not going to do it. It's as simple as that.
Awesome. Yep.
What I'd like to do, because they've waited long enough, I'm going to throw some Q&A, if you guys don't mind, to the comment section.
Nice.
Very first question, and Max, if you're still here, my apologies. This is from our friend Max to you, Juan. Max says, what was the hardest sound to source from your fonts? Not counting Maul's hum, since I know you went into detail on your original monophonic Maul font.
Well, that's a tricky question because he knows that's the hardest sound that I've ever tried to dig out from anywhere. That specific Darth Maul episode 1 hum, I chased it for like 3 years and I'm not going to lie to you, and I don't know why he knows this.
Max knows everything.
But I actually found it back then on an episode of The Big Bang Theory. Yeah. There was an episode where this character, this old guy, which had a TV show, appeared to Sheldon Cooper. And he was disguised as Obi-Wan Kenobi. He would appear as a Force ghost. And he turned on a lightsaber, and it was Darth Maul's hum. So I had to buy the DVDs, extract that part, and isolate that segment and use it. I mean, it was Angry Birds, and even Angry Birds had a Darth Maul game, and they didn't use that Darth Maul hum. The bzz, 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 you know the Darth Maul hum. Now you can find it everywhere. Like, you can find it in YouTube. It's one of the easiest sounds that you can find, and back then it took me 3 years. The second one, which is it's interesting because I haven't actually found it clean, is on Empire Strikes Back, on the not the special edition, I think the original edition, when the Slave 1 uh, ignites, takes off for the first time when Leia looks at it. There's like a trumpet sound, and it's two trumpet sounds, and then the classic Slave One takeoff sound. I haven't found it. And there's a Star Wars sounds that just a documentary that was just released on Disney Plus. And the first thing that Ben, like the first scene, the first moment, it's Ben Burt saying, "This is Slave One sound," and he plays like a small trumpet. And I thought I was going to find it there, but no, because he talks and laughs on top of it. So yeah, it's Mission Impossible. But I'm going to find it. I'm going to find that sound. So yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Let's roll through the comments real quick. Zero is loving that cinematic collection.
Jeez.
Craig is loving that Spaceballs. Zero, I wonder if Fallen Order 2 is going to be called as such, or as the Jedi games go, we'll see a continuation but from another point of view. That would be cool, because that would actually follow the formula of the Walking Dead games, which from Telltale, which were freaking masterpieces.
I think it'll be Jedi. It just won't be Fallen Order. It'll be Jedi something else, but it'll still follow Cal Kestis. But the theme will be very different, because now he's regained a lot of his teachings, and he's a lot more confident now. I'm hoping at E3 this year, or whatever equivalent of E3 will happen, that we get some kind of announcement. I think it'll probably come out next year.
Okay. Let's see. Zero Link, brother. That setup is looking clean.
Yeah.
It's all coming together. He likes that
Looks
that
awesome.
Visions pays. Let's see. Aaron. Still a fan of Anger of Lust for Power and The Pilgrim. Freaking love that Scott Pilgrim font. Kelborn likes Daddy Issues. Comes with the Vader's Vault. Gen 2 Heroes. Huh, I didn't know that. Daddy Issues is a masterpiece. Appreciate it. Juansiths are complete nostalgia.
Thank you.
Impressing Darth Alice's goals is free. Max, I know everything.
Bro, he kind of does.
You could say Max's knowledge is complete.
Complete. Dude,
Complete.
Max is a very resourceful individual.
Max is awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Cheeto has a
Yeah.
question for all of us. What is your PC workstation specs, and what software do you use to make fonts? Okay, let me go first, please.
Okay.
With all due respect, no. Next.
What's your PC workstation specs, and what software you use to make fonts? Wow. Yeah, I mean, I can show you. This is where all the magic happens. I'm not going to
It's an
lie.
episode of Cribs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2013. iMac,
Hey,
and headphones and Sabers. All
Max
of
really
what
dude,
programs,
sounds great.
Juansith?
them. Only Audacity. I only use Audacity for either isolating, which I think Max also have a question. Yeah, Max, how do you source the clean? The Darksaber hum. The Darksaber hum, it was a pain. Audacity isolating the latest Audacity, the latest update. It's gorgeous in terms of trying to isolate things over vocals and music. That's the only
Really?
thing I use. Yeah, I use it all the time.
Hey, wait a minute. Okay, very important question, Juansith, for you. And we can talk after the stream if you'd like. But
After party.
how clean? So I'm going to ask the question, but we can answer it in the after party. But if you had to put a percentage on it, how clean were you able to get the Darksaber hum from 0 to 100%? In your opinion? In your opinion?
Yeah, 100. Finally,
100.
on the
Okay, we're talking.
can-
We're talking later.
on the
Yeah.
latest duel, 100. Before, no.
I'll show you guys something in the after the show too. But
Okay,
yeah,
good.
you can-
All right, so
That's-
moving on then.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so
Harry.
Aaron's,
Um,
oh yeah, Harry, real quick.
Well, me and then me.
And then-
yeah, I'm not gonna get into my PC specs just because I work on a couple different workstations, anything from my laptop to my desktop computer. Um, as far as hardware and software goes, there's so many different things. Like I'd be here for an hour just trying to get into it, and part of it is like that's a method to my madness. It's like that's a little bit of the secret sauce that makes it work.
Secret sauce.
But there's tons like Audacity. I use it all the time. It's a great tool. If you're looking to get into Soundfont making, or if you want to make some stuff for your own Saber or
And
start
it's free.
experimenting with stuff,
Yeah.
it's free. It's awesome. It's a great tool. You can do everything you need to do with Audacity. I supplement what I use with Audacity. So
It's
that's
what we
the
grew
real
up with,
cryptic answer,
Juansith.
but yeah,
That's what
I
we
use
grew
a
up with.
hybrid of stuff. So
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. And I wouldn't mind later on, not today, but sometime, just kind of breaking down what kind of equipment you're using, just out of curiosity's sake, because I know there's so much great stuff out there these days. Fourzze and I were talking about the Isotope software, but it's extremely expensive.
Which one?
Isotope.
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 It's spelled with it's like IZ instead of IS.
yeah,
But anyway, so for me, my computer is like 6-7 years old at this point. I really want to get a new one, but what I want is extremely expensive, and instead of spending it on a new computer, I'm going to put it toward the Tron run. So, but I use Audacity and Goldwave, a program called Goldwave, just because, at least as of now, there's still a couple of things Goldwave can do that Audacity can't. But I might have to
Goldwave's
re-look
classic.
into the latest updates, because Audacity may be outperforming that now as far as the mismatched features. I also, so we talk about secret sauce. There is one program I use that I think I don't mind sharing. I think it's something that will help. What? Yeah, secret. Yeah.
No.
No. Okay, so there's a program called Audio Record Wizard. You pay for it, and I think it's like $20. All I use it for is if I need to rip audio from like a game or a movie or something for sourcing. That program will let you rip audio from anything that goes through your computer. It's called Audio Record Wizard, and it's like
you can
$20.
do it with Audacity.
Oh, really?
So I've had this program for years, so it's not like I bought it recently. So if Audacity can do that now, then I don't know that it used to be able to. I never found out a way to do it, but if Harry says Audacity can do it, then don't spend money and just use Audacity. So never mind. Does it let you do it? Hold on. Does Audacity let you rip source and let you format how it's ripped, i.e. hertz, i.e. .wave, .mp3, .ogg, etc.?
I use Audio Hijack Pro, which is for Mac, which is great, and it lets you do that.
Okay.
Like output whatever you want.
That's
Well,
what
with
Audio Record
Audacity-
Wizard does. I can output it in any hertz frequency and any floating bit rate and any kind of dot format, .wave, .ogg, mp3, whatever.
Yeah,
That's yeah. I don't know
Audacity
if Audacity
will
can do that.
Audacity will use it'll record with the loopback feature based on the hertz on your project settings. So you can set your project ahead of time, start to record, but you can always alter it, resample it, and export it out to another format.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I guess, and so to me, it sounds like yes, it can do the same thing, but it sounds like Audio Record Wizard probably does it just without all the extra steps.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I guess
Record
then you're
Wizard
just
will
paying for
probably-
convenience if you want it. So either way,
Yeah.
but if you don't want to spend money,
Sounds
just
right.
use Audacity. It's a fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Longevity.
Also get one of these, an OP1.
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, nice.
I
man.
love Saber. It's a small synthesizer, but it has saved my
Yeah.
life countless times. So yeah, you always need one of these.
Is that like a MIDI controller, or is that just like a synthesizer of its own?
It's a synthesizer on its own. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
it's pretty good. Yeah.
We're all nerding out over equipment. But hey, that's what we do, man. That's what we do.
It's our bread
All
and
right,
butter.
so let's see. Juan already answered this one from Max concerning the Dark Saber. Next question from Max: do you have plans on making a Dagobah HD in smooth swing?
Ooh, yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah, I should. I mean, the source material is the same. The scene is pretty small, But yeah, why not? I mean, the smooth swings from Luke Graphics are, I think, yeah, Luke Graphics ESB. It's pretty much the easiest one. It's a hum. It's actually it's Bader's hum. Some people don't know it, but yeah, they
Yeah.
sometimes who cares? Some fun makers treat this like a secret recipe. Some smooth things are just hums,
Yeah.
and ESB is just Bader's hum. So yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
that's
All in the
part of the magic, though.
manipulation, honestly.
That's part of the magic, though, of like honoring the source material. I mean, really, even what Disney did, or not Disney, but like LucasArts, and Lucasfilms, as they made like the prequels after the original trilogy, a lot of the sounds that we heard from Sabers were just evolutions of some of the old Saber sounds, right? So it kind of went from like type A, B, and C, and then you'd see A, B, and C interchanged around between characters across movies, and then you go into the prequels, and it was like you'd have different characters having different sounds between different scenes. I mean, like the scene with Anakin and Obi fighting Dooku in Clone Wars. Dooku's saber changes, like basically changes fonts like 3 times in the middle of it. I mean, and the same with Anakin's too. It's crazy.
I saw that.
That's some
in-
laziness on a production level.
Hey,
It is.
well,
Because
It
You know-
is. Come on.
They
Yeah,
get
there was
creative with it in certain
Actually,
spots, though.
Fourzze, you have a pretty good point, and that's the reason why I didn't want to make prequel fonts for
Yep.
like 5 years. And everybody would say, "Why are you making prequel fonts?" And I'm like, "They all sound like Maul. It's like
Because they're all the freaking same. Look, and we'll get back to the questions. Look, here, this is my beef with the prequels. If you go into the prequels and then you go into Clone Wars and you go into every freaking video game between the years of 2006 and 2014, they all
Same stuff.
use the prequel library. That's why it's so damn difficult to create something for KOTOR and KOTOR 2, because the characters and the story and the lore is fascinating as freak, but they just reuse the same crap over and over again,
Yeah.
which is why when I made my Old Republic stuff, I had to really venture outside the box to get it the way it sounds, because I had to look
Well-
at other sources. For example, Darth Treya. Look at Darth Treya. My Treya font has like this electrical energy and force dark energy behind it, which, coincidentally enough, you can only hear that through her raid in Galaxy of Heroes, which more or less individualized her a little bit. But had it not been for that subject matter, she would have just been another prequel Ignition, Vader, Smooth Swing, Hum, and Vader Swings. That's all she was. So, yeah, kudos to the prequel sounds, but damn those prequel sounds in their 13-year run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, that's
This is what I liked
frustrating.
about the Old Republic MMO. They went out and created tons of new source material.
Yes, they did.
So
And
did
God bless
Fallen
them for
Order.
it.
So did
Mhm.
Fallen Order, and so did well, no, Visions actually had a couple of unique sounds, but for the most part, no, they're rehashed. Like
Yep.
the Village
A lot of
Bride,
Maul.
that's just Ray Saber.
Visions overused
Kylo's
Kylo's
hum
crap
was everywhere, dude.
Oh, yeah.
everywhere.
Now,
There's
Kylo and Maul.
combinations.
yeah, there's combinations. So with my Visions fonts, where all the Kylo stuff pops up, I definitely incorporated that, but each one adds different layers in to help kind of differentiate, right?
hmm
And that's a pretty common theme through my Visions fonts. But yeah, when the old Republic MMO came out, and then Fallen Order, when I started playing Fallen Order, I immediately fell in love with the story, but as I started unlocking the different saber colors, or like once you get to that point, and I immediately started to notice, I'm like, hey, wait a minute. These are all different. These are all different. Oh,
Yeah.
oh my God, these are all different. and I was like so excited, because that was the first time since the Old Republic MMO that they really gave us new sound subsets, right? As far as I'm aware, right? I mean, Rebels, when Rebels came out, we had Ahsoka and the White Blade sabers, and that was new.
Yeah.
and the Inquisitors was new.
Yeah, and
So,
hard.
what's that?
Hard. to
Yeah,
make.
yeah, yeah. So, and then Fallen Order is the most recent example of truly new, unique sounds that they created. I really hope that theme continues in Fallen Order 2 or whatever that's going to be, and any subsequent new Star Wars content in general. If the next
Yeah.
lightsaber wielding characters that are new, I hope they continue that theme of giving us more new innovation on the sound side of it because it just makes it more exciting. You know,
Yeah.
I'm all about the classic stuff and staying true to it, but it's been done for 40 years now.
Yeah.
So it's
I'm
like
really
yeah.
anxious to see what the Inquisitor's sabers sound like in the new
In the
Obi-Wan movie.
trailer,
Probably
in
like
the
Rebels.
trailer, hold on. In the trailer, if you listen, the Grand Inquisitor's saber sounds like Maul's.
Of course,
It doesn't.
There's like a
It doesn't sound like it does in Rebels. It sounds like Maul's. But I'll be very curious to see if come the full show,
right?
they change it. Because here's why: you got Filoni and Favreau running things for Mando season 2. When Ahsoka shows up, it's 100% the Rebels sound set in her sabers.
It is.
Yeah.
He's like, no, this is her sabers right from Rebels. They're white bladed just like Rebels. It's the same exact sounds, and they did so many ignitions and retractions in that episode to purposely show you this is who she is. This is her sound set. Yes, it's from Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
So I find it very interesting that the Grand Inquisitor in the trailer for Kenobi was sounding like Maul's. I was looking for that very distinctly.
Yeah.
So I hope and pray in the show that they give us what it sounded like in Rebels. I hope
so too. I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
All right, comments. So Max was the last one. Mike says, "Hey guys, much love to all of us. The fire talent on the screen. Thank you, Mike." Let's see.
But-
Keldo, I know Vader's Vault put someone's Luke font on the Gen 2 hero. Been 4 years. I can't remember whose. I want to say, Juan, that was yours they put on there.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Liam, call your mom.
Hey, Liam.
Call your mom.
Liam's in the house, man.
Call your mom.
Zero. Juansith, my man, what font of yours gained massive popularity that you thought would bomb?
Anger. Anger. I thought it was just like a pet project, and it was one of the most sold fonts of the past year. Seraph,
Thanks, man.
Angel, all my ancient relics, Valhalla, Ragnarok, and everything. It's just like I wake up and I say, "Hey, I want to make something that comes out of my head without having any source material or anything," and they happen to do really, really well. So yeah, those were surprising. Sometimes you do Inquisitor, sold like on the first month sold 2, so it didn't really go well. Like Kanan Jarrus, 1 on the same month. Anger, 70. Like you never know.
Yeah.
It is kind of
It's when
crazy.
people discover,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had this is actually really good, and I'll be quick. Like for me, I put out this Lord of the Rings inspired font called Nazgul.
Ah,
To this day, even now, I've put this font out in 2019, I think, is when I came out with this. And even now, it still sells all the time. And it's the most random. I actually think someone commissioned me to make it, but the deal was that I was allowed to sell it. And I didn't really take it very seriously. And man, same thing. To this day, I see it every month consistently. So you never know.
Nice.
and the Tron font, which I didn't think it was going to bomb, but to this day it still sells pretty well. Tron. So
The
yeah.
Nova Star one, yeah. Or did you do one?
No, I did one. It was a
Nice.
commission
When did you do this?
2 years ago.
See, man, this is why we need to talk and hang out more like this, because there's like I didn't even know that. I didn't even know you made one 2 years ago. Here I was thinking I was the first one since Nova Star, and it's not even the case. Dang.
What's your opinion on those takes? I mean, I've heard like, did you see it in today's Corbanth release of awesome Vader sabers that had chassis like
I think so, maybe. But why? What's going on?
there was a Vader. There was they sold that they are released
There it is.
urban edition. Yeah, that
Okay.
one. It was like 2 years ago. It was a commission Tron,
Oh wow. No, yeah. I
and I heard a Vader font with quotes, and I said, "Hey, maybe it's mine." No, it's not mine, but I didn't. I enjoyed. I liked it. So what's your take? I mean, I don't care if people like Shamim had also like made Graphics fonts, and I was like on a hiatus, and I said, okay, well, it's cool. He's bringing new stuff to the community while I'm away. So
Oh, I think I can answer this for you, Juansith, and Forrest has heard me say this a bunch of times, but so for a long time, I did not make fonts based on canon characters like Luke Skywalker, Vader. Like I only recently this last year came out with a cinematic collection, and that was the first time since I've been making fonts this whole time that I tackled those characters because there's so many other people but that have fonts based on those characters. But the same advice I kept giving the Forest for many, many years, I finally decided to listen to my own advice, and I said, the funny thing about a character based sound font is it doesn't matter how many people make them, because if I'm a Luke Skywalker font, I want every single Luke Skywalker font that exists, because they're all going to be different in some way. And I'm a Luke Skywalker fan. I want all of them. And that's
Every
the
freaking
mentality.
one.
That's the mentality of most people in the hobby. Whoever their favorite
most.
character is, they want every version if they can get it. So I always
Most
encourage
versions.
font makers to, just if you want to make a character-based font, then just make it, because there are people that want that
They'll take it.
every time.
They'll take it. Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah.
And as a matter of fact, prime example, shout to Syndicate Custom Relics for dropping in episode 3 Annie that I have never heard that kind of take on it, and it's freaking fire. It's angry, it's
Preston's
destructive.
fantastic, man.
Preston is a fantastic font maker, and y'all need to be jumping on that. And again, it's a canon font, but who cares? Because again, it's another one of those situations where it's eye of the beholder, and
Everybody's style's different.
yes,
Yeah.
God bless him
Yeah.
for being on that. So, absolutely, Liam is shouting out to Juan's Iron Man font with a building, but I think he meant the fire.
And,
Yep.
it's funny you mentioned that one too, because Fourzze actually recently kind of pushed me into doing more canon's character-based stuff too, because
You're
and I
welcome.
was guilty. Yeah, thank you. I was guilty of falling into that trap of thinking, okay, yeah, I have to do something out of the box. I have to do something wild. I have to do something different. And then I started thinking, well, I'd almost like to hear my interpretation of these characters too. So I did one of my favorite ones. I'm a huge fan of the Gendy Tartakovsky 2003 Clone Wars. And
Hex
it's
freaking yeah, dude.
there's
Yeah.
not. I mean, and you guys know, for the saber sounds, it's not very fleshed out, right? There's a
No,
very
it's prequel crap.
small. Yeah, it's small, but I love
With
it
an exception.
because the way that it fits with the character and his animation in the show. I love that look. I love the sound.
It's
It
the
fits
Samurai
so well.
Jack look.
Yeah, it's
That's
that
that's
Samurai
that's the
Jack
same
vibe.
artist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gendy
And
Tartakovsky.
that's kind of the thought that I had going into making that font, and I just had such a good time making it. So now just that inspired me to start doing more character fonts. So I have more of those coming on the way.
And fun fact, Harry and I both use the exact same Dooku ignition that you can only get from that series.
You
And I
wanna know
swear,
something?
Classic.
boom.
You want to know something? Because you came out with it for us, right when I did my cinematic collection, at the last minute, I added that exact ignition into my Dooku font,
Nice.
just to sprinkle it in. I actually hadn't planned on doing it, but all I did was took that ignition and dropped it in at the last minute because it is cool. It's a very unique. It's the only place it exists in that one
It's
side.
so
in that-
iconic.
It's the one spot, and it is.
Yeah,
It's very.
it's great.
Like it's totally different.
Boom.
Yep.
So our boy Jeff, who hangs with us on The Usual Suspects, he says, "What's up, my brothers? So much talent up there, and I feel honored to know you all."
Jeff is a amazing human being.
Jeff is the
He's like
Care
the big
Bear
teddy bear
of the
yeah.
community.
He's the big teddy bear,
He's the
man.
greatest.
The Lego building fiend himself.
Harry Potter loving, just nicest guy. I was able to meet him in person. He brought his family from Canada down here. We went to Galaxy's Edge. I met him in
I wish I
person.
could have gone, man.
Chris Selman, the Jakku junk trader, came from Montana. We all went and met up in Orlando, and we experienced Galaxy's Edge together. My God, what a marvelous day! What great friends. Jeff's family, they're just freaking angels, man. I love all my friends in the Saber community, and it's so different. It's so different from talking on the internet or over Messenger, and then you meet people in person. It's like, dude, it's a blessing, is what it is.
Yeah, I wish I could have gone, man, but I don't imagine you would have said the same things after meeting me in person. You probably, man, that Link guy's a jerk.
Just so you knew.
Just so you know, you're not my favorite font maker anymore.
Jeff says,
No.
oh, okay, here's an interesting one for everybody. Jeff says, how would you guys feel about collabing on an Obi-Wan Kenobi pack and each do a character?
Each do a character, meaning...
I'm always open to the conversation of a collaboration, and the details will have to be sorted out if that's doable, but it really depends on everybody's schedules.
I think what he means is we each pick a Kenobi. So someone would take
episode 1, episode 2,
episode 1, 3, Clone Wars.
Oh, right, yeah, because that's his favorite character.
Series,
I keep forgetting.
Right, and what's funny is that it's essentially already been done because, Juan, you've done an episode 3 Obi, right?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Clone Wars and
okay.
I have an episode 4, episode 1, and episode 3.
And I have a specific Clone Wars and then a DLC Clone Wars, and I put everything into James Arnold trailer because I love that guy. So I mean, essentially, it's already been done, and I think everybody on the screen has plans for the series.
Oh yeah,
100%.
But hey, hey, listen.
So
God forbid.
Look at him; he's getting lit up, man. He's like,
hey, look,
yeah, let's go.
Just don't release it the day after it comes out because we're
dude, you're talking about Juansith. Are you kidding me? Like
he said,
dude, this guy's gonna have it out like the same night. He's
from
a beast.
The new show. So I'm thinking he means we all take somebody from the new series and do it instead of
that would
iteration.
be cool. That would be cool.
That's an interesting idea.
Look, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the controversy on you guys before we move on. You want to make a freaking font the day after something comes out? God bless you. Go ahead and freaking do it.
Yeah.
Because what anybody else says, be damned. I'm serious.
I'm gonna wait for all the episodes personally.
But that's what I'm saying. But like,
that's what I'm gonna do.
Don't be one of those people who's like telling thousands of people, hey man, wait on this specific person to make this font, and don't buy anybody's whose comes out the day after. Dude, shut the freak up.
Yeah, how about we just buy all of them?
How about you just buy all of them, okay? And freaking, your advice be damned. Because Preston put out an absolutely amazing Luke font the day after that Book of Boba Fett episode dropped.
Crushed it, man.
Crushed it. Juan, you put out that the Ronin, the samurai, the day after Visions came out, and it was astounding.
I have a story to tell, and Juansith, this is involving you, and this is so hilarious to me because I have never been one to try to be first. Okay? No, and it's not because I care one way or the other. It's if people want to be first or try to get it out as quickly as possible, that's fine. I've just never been that kind of person. There was one exception when Mando Season 2 came out with Ahsoka. So I think that episode's called The Jedi.
Yeah.
I had already had some Ahsoka Rebels subset sounds kind of pre-packaged, but they needed to be a little reworked and then have the new sounds from that episode incorporated because there were some new sounds, right? The way the sabers moved and fluttered, and there was new material there, though still in the same sound of her sabers, right? The theme. Because that episode came out, I actually tried without telling the world. I tried to be first. And who is it that beats me to the punch? by a few hours. Like, and I'm
I
not
wonder-
kidding. By
Interesting
literally
facts.
just a few hours, dude, you beat me, and I'm like, this guy's nuts, man.
And I'm going to tell you one story which
It made me laugh.
you may or may not believe. Every one of those fonts, I had it within 3 hours after the episode aired.
I believe it.
But Bader's Bolt and Alan and Diana told me no.
Really?
Yeah, I
believe
have
that.
to wait. I like this is a secret. Some of you maybe, I don't know who's on the chat, but some ask me 3 hours later and they get it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I have to normally wait 2 days too.
For
But
them to upload it to
I don't
Saberfont,
want
right?
anyone to get first, and because I know it's a challenge. It's just a game. It's like I'm not. I have my day job. It's not like
Dude, you don't have to justify anything. You're fine. Like,
yeah, but
No,
I've heard some
seriously.
people say, "Oh, wait, you cannot do that. The same thing for Obi." I'm going to have it ready like 3 hours later because it's
There you go.
Just want to. It's just
and
like,
look,
Well,
hey,
no,
man,
no. Juan, it's real simple.
It's
okay,
fine,
it's
man.
it's your passion. It's what you want to do.
it's gonna actually be
And-
better because of that.
and
If you know your
who is-
tools and you know your skills and you know your trade, you can do
Yeah.
it in 3 hours, and it's
Yeah,
not
dude.
even a tough ask.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean,
it's not. Yeah, it's actually not
Absolutely.
even that big of a deal because, like he said, no, you're 100% right. Like when you're a master at your craft
Mhm.
and you know what you're doing, 3 hours is nothing. You could probably do it faster if you wanted to.
And it's the prerogative of the creator. It really is. Who is anybody, especially an influencer, to say to the community, "Oh, we can't do this"? So shut the
Let's-
freak up.
That's
all right.
We don't need to go there anyway.
That's
so,
no, that's fine. Just,
but
but it's
What-
all right.
But it made me laugh because it was the genuine only one time that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try to get this done quick, and then like you beat me by like a couple hours, and I'm like, I love that man. He is so like I was it was funny because I was like deflated. I was defeated.
oh
No, not upset. It made me laugh and it made me smile because I know how hard you work at this stuff, and I've known that for many, many years. And I said, you know what? If someone was gonna beat me and go that fast, it would be Juansith. That makes sense. And he's just that's what he does. That's how come he's so good, man. He knows his tools. He's on top of the episode. He is. You want to talk about people being the most like hardcore enthusiast, someone who is genuinely passionate. You cannot pump something out like that fast unless you are that passionate and a true fan. It's impossible, right?
thank you so much for your compliments. I hate to realize that some people might get pissed off. I'm not trying to, yeah, but to me is if you want it at the very like the closest, like for example the first episode of Obi-Wan, he's going to turn on his saber, like we all know that. And to me is I would have loved or I would love for someone to release a pretty accurate font hours from its release because I want to play with it. I mean, I think what we do first is that we love lightsabers. I mean, I play with lightsabers all day. I'm a lightsaber fan first,
All
and a
day.
filmmaker second. So that's my motivation. That's what I would like for someone. If I weren't a fun maker, that's what I would like for someone to, oh, nice. That's a Bader's Bold negotiator, right there.
No, that's
No.
a Jawa's junkyard general.
That's that's actually from the animated series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bader's
That
Bold
thing's
also
crazy.
did something similar. That's why, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The,
So in conclusion, I mean, who cares?
No, it doesn't. And
Well
there's
called.
no. And like I said, I wanted to bring it up because it made me laugh from a personal standpoint because I don't try to do that, and I like to kind of just let things soak in, take my time, even if it's months down the road. I'll eventually do it, but that's just how I do it in my own way, right? But like I was like, man, I'm gonna get this out because I was so excited, and I'm watching the Jedi. I'm like, that Ahsoka episode was nuts, man. She did all these things. It was just incredible. I heard, dude, look, okay, so the way you guys get excited about Star Wars in your own way and in my own way, that's one of the biggest things. If you want to see Link go ham and go completely crazy on a new font or something Soundfont related, the best way you're going to see that happen is if Star Wars introduces a new sound into something.
Yeah.
That Ahsoka episode,
Yeah.
I heard with my ear hole something I'd never heard before, and immediately trigger went off. I was like, "Stop everything! We have to DeathCon 4. We have to get on this now." Like that's how I react to
Wow.
that stuff because I'm, whether it's music or sound, when it's new and it just emotionally just hits you, right? And you're like, man, what is this? Whoa, that's new. I'm like a dog. The
Dude.
garbage truck just went by. Woo.
It's like Heath Ledger. Star Wars puts a new sound out, and everyone loses their mind.
Everyone loses their Link's losing his mind. Yeah, that's how I am. I'm like crazy when I hear something new. I go crazy, man.
All right. Going through the comments, a lot of shout out to people saying, hey. Not going to throw all of it on there.
Juansith, like, this guy's got too much energy. I got to get out of here.
No, it's great. That's the energy that we need in the community.
Will saying hey to everybody. What's going on to Will?
What's up,
chat? Okay, Craig Kenobi. Juansith, why not combine your fonts into one package? So have Profi, CFX, Golden Harvest, Verso, etc. Much love to you.
Oh, great question. Yeah, I get asked that a lot. The reason why I don't combine, like when you purchase, it's either CFX or Profi, is because it's not the same font. I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room. Crystal Focus is not the same as Profi, period.
Correct.
I mean, everyone that we that work on it, they don't even render sound the same.
Mm-mm.
They don't have the same timings. You cannot do the same sound-wise on CFX than on Profi. So you have to work on, for me, when I'm talking about accuracy, I have to actually make two versions. And that's why I don't make Golden Harvest or Verso, because I don't have Golden Harvest or Verso Sabers. I only have Profi and Crystal Focus. So I have to test them both differently. And I'm going to give an example. We all know how on episode like Attack of the Clones, Count Dooku lights up his saber for the first time. There's a specific timing to when you hear the drum, drum. There's a drop down, which leads you to the hum. There's on Crystal Focus, you can set the timing to where you want the power on to finish and the hum to start, but you cannot do it on Profi. So that was a whole different work just to achieve that. And not only that, I'm not going to go through which board makes the smooth strings sound better. I mean, they are even different. But if there are two versions, well, it's like buying a video game for PlayStation 5 or for Xbox One. They are not giving you Elder Ring to be able to play on both. So yeah, that's the reason. I'm not renaming the sounds. You can do that. I mean, you can buy a Crystal Focus font and just or Profi, but I don't even recommend it. Because even the frequencies, the low end frequencies are different. Like they render bass differently.
Yeah.
So,
I actually want to add to this because you said something very key that's important to answering this question that I want to kind of re-highlight, which is when we're talking about accuracy. So case in point, my fonts are sold and you get like 4 soundboards versions, but all that means is I took the same files and renamed them so that you could slide them into your soundboard. Now the trick here is, to Juansith's point, to get the most out of them, you need to go into the config settings of your specific board, and you will have to adjust the timings to get the most out of it.
And I don't does the work for you.
And I don't provide config files for this very reason, because number one, I'm a sound creator. I'm not a tech support. It's the customer's job to learn how to operate your soundboard. That's number one. Number two
Say
is
that again for the people in the back, please.
yeah, it is up to the
Serious.
customer to learn your board, RTFM, read the manual, right? Learn how to operate your board. That's what you paid for. You got to, because, and here's the other thing. Even if I create config settings, that doesn't mean that they'll match up with your master configs and that you won't change them to your liking in the first place. Thus, I've wasted my time. So there's that. But also, again, the biggest point to this answer is accuracy. Juansith doesn't do it. Juansith does it the way he does it because he's right. These soundboards are very different. And he puts in the extra work to make sure that each version is timed to what the soundboard produces. Whereas in my case with my fonts, you can make that happen, but you have to do it on your end. Basically, Juansith's just going a little bit above and beyond to
Way
really
above.
to really
Way above
dial
and
it in.
beyond.
Well, it's yeah, you're right. Little is an understatement. It's a lot. But he dials it in a lot more for a very specific experience for CFX or Profi, right? So I really like that answer, and I think that's going to give a lot of clarity to people in the community. But the moral of the story is, if you're buying from someone like me who has multi-versions, it really comes down to how you're going to edit your config file to your liking, and that's going to be very important.
And also, like just to finish that question, it's a totally different mix form. Like you can have OB episode 1 for CFX, and it has a totally different mix. The sounds, every sound, than for my OB episode 1 for Profi. Because if you put the same font on a Profi, your speaker is going to rattle, especially when you have a very low end smooth swings, very bassy fonts. You're going to have a lot of rattly things, and I don't tolerate that for neither for myself and neither for, like, if I'm going to sell a font. It's all about the experience, and what I want people to experience when they put my font on the SD card is the ultimate quality. I want them to hear it as I hear it. So that's why I invest a lot of money on. I have 10 Sabers here, which all are testers, and of course I have my Saber, which can be plugged to the speaker, and I don't use it for my videos because that's not the experience that you're gonna get. I want you to hear what you're kind of going to hear on a Saber. Yes, I can plug this directly to my computer and you can get the ultimate sound, but I don't learn anything from that 2 years later because speakers change, technology changes.
Yes, it
And
does.
if I'm plugging the sound coming from a board to this, I'm never going to tell the difference like I'm now telling the difference when I see my 2013 demo video and the difference now, which is clarity. Like it's going to sound pretentious, but it's like a scientific process where I need to learn.
That's very accurate.
What I need to learn how sound changed. First, I put my Sennheiser, like my $2,000 Sennheiser mic next to the camera. Of course, people are going to say, no, like you're rendering quality out of a Sennheiser mic, like cinema quality mic. Yes, but still, this is a Crystal Focus 4. If I turn this on and I turn this on, there's a whole lot of difference because this has like a very, very nice. It's KR. What's the speakers? These ones, the latest ones, the 28 millimeter.
28 millimeter.
Oh, I think they're the Smuggler's Outpost, but
Smuggler's
honestly,
Outpost.
from what I heard, they're just the cheaper. They're just the cheaper JBLs.
Yeah. This is next to a freaking premium speaker. This was 2012.
Yeah, the flat speakers. Yep.
This would blow up every month. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's testing every font on 10 different Sabers, 10 different configurations, different speakers. This is a 22 millimeter.
Hmm.
so that you can get the best experience that you can have without rattly,
Yeah.
bassy speakers. So yeah, in short, that's why it's different.
That's an extremely good answer because and again, it puts a little finality on people who are like, well, I could just buy one version and then rename it and put it on the other version. Well, okay, you can, that's their freedom, that's their choice, and if they want to take the time to set all the timings and all their volumes and whatnot, then obviously that's what they're going to do. But it's nice to know, especially for the Profi community, because the Profi community is a very independent community. They like the adventure, they like the exploration, they like the what do you call it, the trial by error, and the freedom to do to play with their configs and make their sabers and their blade styles and their sounds and everything do something a little different. Not to mention the fact that you have so many different styles of sabers with different resonances. I honestly believe Profi really gives them probably more freedom than anybody to configure their saber the way that they want to do it. And God bless them for for wanting to venture
Oh,
that
it's
far.
great. Yeah,
Unfortunately, I don't have that much patience, but it's good to know finally now that you have taken the time and the effort to basically preset all their timings, and their levels and channels, and that's good to know so that they can go over to Saberfont and get specifically what you prepare for them, and they don't have a lot of work they have to do in terms of making it sound the way it should sound.
yeah.
So that's fantastic. We've got a ton of comments. It doesn't really look like we have any more questions. A lot of folks shouting out to each other, and we appreciate everybody who has joined the stream tonight. Looks like we do have one more question. We're going to wrap this thing up at about 12 more minutes, and there's a few things that I want to touch on and ask. We have Iman Way, a question for everybody. How do you all feel about taking commissions? Harry, you want to start?
Yeah. I love taking commissions. That's something I really enjoy doing. So yeah, I'm always open. I'm probably gonna be taking closing up my books for a little bit right now, just because I am really slammed up. People have been really awesome in contacting me over the last month or two, and I have one that's going to be releasing just here in a couple days, and I've got like 5-6 more stacked behind it. So I love commissions. You can reach out to me on my website. I have a contact form on there. You can reach out to me on any of my socials, and we can talk about it. We can go over the rates, and but yeah, I really like making something that you're happy with. I like working with my clients every step of the way. I like sending updates as I go, sending little samples here and there, like, hey, what do you think of this? Do you like this? Do you want to change this? Yeah, just so I love commissions. Hit me up, bring them on.
Juan, what about you?
Oh, I love them. I actually working on one of them, and just one, but it's taking me like 3 weeks because I need to watch like every single episode of an anime TV show, which it's the only way, it's the only way to really good make good work. So yeah, it's a tough process because there's a lot of research and investigation first, but that's what I love about it. So yeah, and also it really changes your mindset into risking doing something different and hearing comments about your own work. Like for example, at the beginning, the first commissions were like, I would deliver like a rough draft, but you would love the style of the hum, and it would be shocking. And when they tell you, no, I don't like the hum that much, it would take you aback at first, but then you learn from it, and like learning to collaborate with people that has a different like way that they hear the sounds.
Love it.
Yeah, like it makes you like it's a pretty nice learning experience. And to be honest, a lot of commission fonts are the most sold and some of the most liked. Some like
Yep.
Seraph, the one of the latest fonts. Seraph was a commission font, I mean, I tweaked it later to my liking, but yeah, like I really like that. So I think every font maker should be open to making, like, getting commissions. And if you want a commission of mine, just like look for me on Bader's Vault, like the vault, the forums, or on my website on Facebook, Juansith Saber Fonts.
Link.
Yeah, so my idea about commissions is very similar to what Harry and Juansith have said, with kind of a small exception. So I really only take commissions once or twice a year if I'm looking back at my trend. Um, Usually that's just because I'm otherwise busy. Um, and I'll take them in bursts here and there. I recently opened them up, and I guess if you want to, if you they're kind of open, kind of not. I had a window there for a second, and I've more or less closed it at this point. But you can email me at repulsecollectibles@gmail.com, and I can definitely talk with you. We can go over the rates and stuff, and then I feel the same way that like Harry explained, where when I do work with my clients, it's always an experience. Like Juan said, it's always something to learn because you get to kind of hear outside your own perspective and your own boundaries as an artist. So there's a lot to learn, and some of the, like, I agree with Juan said, some of the best fonts, the most popular sold are commissions. Like Nazgul, the one I made was a commission, and that one is sold like hotcakes, like all the time. So I do like commissions. I do take commissions rarely, but I do take them sometimes. And yeah, I think I'm going to be slowing down here for the moment. So if you want to email me, I'm happy to talk with you. I can't promise I'll take on the project, but I'm always happy to entertain the conversation. And yeah, I do like doing them sometimes.
Commissions with me are few and far between. I take I take the ones that are going to push me, the ones that are not from people who are going to be difficult, but ones that will require a little extra, make me learn something new. Some of the most fun commissions I've ever worked on came from some of the most difficult requests. Obviously, some unfortunately were not able to be released for sale, although I was allowed to put the videos up and kind of demonstrate them. And others, were just the customer wanted them to be shared with the community, so obviously it didn't cost them as much. But I'm in the middle of two right now. One is done. I am completing another one, and then once the ball is rolling, I want to say after May 4th, I'm probably going to open one or two up for the summer, and it'll be first come first serve on that. But yeah, that's kind of my take on commissions. I used to do a lot of them, but I was kind of falling behind in stuff that I wanted to get just up on channels and pages. So I kind of fell away from doing stuff for me and into doing stuff for others. And every commission has been a different story. And for the most part, I've enjoyed just about everybody I've had the pleasure of working with. Everybody presents a new challenge, and I'm very appreciative of that. So that's always a good thing. Let's see where we got, about 5 more minutes. So to wrap things up, I guess final thoughts from me. We'll go around the room. Final thoughts from me. You guys know my story. You know what I'm about. First of all, support your font makers, and support your font makers, number one, in the way that please purchase their work. Encourage others to purchase their work. Please don't share fonts. Please don't load 500 fonts on a Saber and and try to jack the price up and sell it and be like, oh, it came that way. No, shut up. Don't do that. And and I don't care whose fonts are on it. I really don't. It doesn't matter. Don't disgrace, don't disrespect any font maker by sharing their work, giving their work away, or telling people that their work is free. It's not free. Sound fonts are just like any other service in our Saber community. They take time, they take patience. Some of us were able to pump them out quickly because we've got the tools, talent necessary to do it. Others, they take a truckload of heart, and a truckload of availability, because a lot of us have day jobs and kids and wives and on-call spots, and we do what we can do when we can do it.
I make Saber fonts for the American working Jedi because that's who I am and that's who I care about.
My
Tommy
name
Boy
is
reference
Link,
there.
and I approve this message.
Yeah.
So please support your font makers, and also encourage people in your channels, in your forums, to
You know what? I got a challenge for the community. Go find a font maker that you never bought a font from and go buy one from them.
Thank you. There's
Go,
that too.
Go seek out all the different font. If there's somebody that says they're a font maker, look them up and buy a font from them just to try it out and see what you think. Because I tell you what, number one, you're going to get exposed to a lot more content creators, and you're probably going to be blown away by what they make. So that's my challenge to the community. Go find somebody you've never heard of that says they make fonts and buy a font from them.
I want to give a shout out to, and again, I don't have every last one of them on the top of my head, but I want to give a shout out to a handful of folks that you typically don't hear their names come up very, very often, but they're super important, they're super talented, and they're there, and they've put the time and effort in. First of all, it's all four of us right here on the screen. Okay, we are not always the first name you hear. A shout out to Syndicate Custom Relics. Shout out to Reaver's Arsenal. Shout out to BK Saber Sounds.
Oh yeah.
Blue Force.
Yeah.
Blue Force.
Somebody who's on the Discord servers. He goes by Phoenix Saber, not
Phoenix
Darth
Saber
Phoenix.
Font. Yeah, Darth
Phoenix Saber Fonts. There's Darth Phoenix, but then there's Phoenix
Saber Fonts. Yeah, he's been around.
There's if you go to Saber Font, you got all those people. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fonts just waiting to be heard. Who am I missing? Jay DeLorean.
Jay DeLorean. Yeah, he's big on TikTok.
Right, Jay DeLorean. Again, all these names that you're not.
Hey, actually, I got another
day.
one. Another one. Ebon Hawk Armory. So
Evan Hawk Armory.
Evan Hawk Armory. His name is Jordan. He
Jordan
actually
Kaufman.
runs an Etsy shop and sells a bunch of LGT product, but also a lot of customs. He does a lot of custom sabers too. So hit him up on his Etsy shop. But that dude actually has a nice array of sound fonts, and I got to go to his house a couple weeks ago, and he let me hear some behind the scenes new font projects he's working on. And I got to tell you, this guy has some really cool stuff that you need to check out. So I want to give a shout out to Jordan over at Ebon Hawk Armory. If you haven't heard of him, you have to go check him out.
Yep. Harry, final thoughts from you.
Final thoughts. So yeah, I'm really appreciative of how welcoming everybody has been in the community for me so far, being a new fontsmith. This is my first real year being official in this. But it's been awesome. And, I don't want to say, go and buy my stuff.
No,
but,
do it. Do it.
Do it.
I do encourage anybody watching, go check out my site and see what I have and pay attention to what I have coming. I do have some
done.
I mean, not to toot my own horn too much, but I do have some fire on the way, and just stuff that blows me away as I'm making it. So, again, I'm really excited to work with y'all more, and the community has been so awesome to work with. All the people reaching out for commissions and people that commented on my stuff, and y'all keep me wanting to do this. And I don't have to do this. I have a day job too, and it's not like I'm here to try to make a buck. I mean, I do this because it's fun and I love it, and I love giving something that people can enjoy on their lightsaber. So
heck yeah, dude. Juan,
Nice.
what do you got for the community?
Just thank you. honestly, because I have so much fun making fonts, and all the appreciation that I get from like all the members of the community who've constantly cheer my work. And like, to be honest, I invest almost 4 hours a day on font making so that I can release a font
Wow.
every week.
It
Which
That's
shows.
a lot of time. That's a
Yeah.
lot of
Shows.
time. I've clocked in hours. That's a lot of time.
Not like I just passed the 100 font mark, which I thought I was
Hey,
never going
Congrats,
to
man.
do.
congratulations.
Thank you, and it's just because of the community. It's growing, and I've been here since 2009, and it was like dark ages where we never thought that we were going to think about new TV series and new
Yeah.
like
Thought the
movies.
prequels were it.
What I like, my take is just love the community, just love the times. I mean, you never know if 5 years from now we're going to go to another dark ages and nobody's going to release any fonts and everything. So just give love to all the font makers, whoever they
Yeah.
are, big, small. Just support the community,
Love
and thank you everyone, because every comment that I have, it's a comment that like makes me work harder on the next font. So, and thank you, Fourzze and Harry and Link, for inviting me. I hope this
Oh man.
like
You're
happens
welcome anytime.
again.
Juan.
Yeah. We're,
Yes,
definitely again.
Absolutely. Gotta
Yeah.
work with you more, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sorry that I like.
This can be the start of a beautiful relationship, and I really mean that.
and
Yeah.
and to the community, forget the tribes, forget all those rivalities.
Yo, we're
Like,
all Star Wars fans, homie.
I mean, I get like messages that, oh, like I don't even care. I'm having fun. I mean,
Listen to this guy. He knows. He's been here forever.
yeah.
Him too.
Longer
They
than
know.
me, man. Longer than me, dude.
They know.
By a couple of years.
Lord Blako, he knows.
He's got 2
Yes.
years on me. Lars
Yes,
Blako.
Lars.
Oh,
Oh, Juansith
mean,
knows Blako, man.
We're
We
all
know
nerds,
Blako.
right? We're all nerds
Hey,
at the end of the day.
exactly.
I
Hey,
mean,
Juansith, you have to help me get Lars on a thing like this.
Yes.
You need to help me convince him to come on to do something like this with us.
cool, Lord
All right.
Blako?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
You
All right.
and me have known Lars a very long time.
yeah.
So we need to get him and do another one of these. We need to convince him, but I'll need your help.
Oh, it would be awesome.
I'll need your help. We'll message
Well,
him.
We're gonna go into after party mode. So.
Oh,
so
no
from our-
closing thoughts from you or me?
Oh no, I'm gonna call it here. We're like over, and Harry's got to go.
Because he knows I'll talk all night. He knows me.
All right. So everybody in the community, whether you know us or not, we appreciate you hanging with us.
And Juansith, don't leave yet.
No.
Yeah, we're like I said, we're going after party mode. But from Fourzze FX, from Harry Solofons, from Juansith, from Link at repulsecollectibles.com, we want to wish all of you the very best of weekends. Thank you so much for joining us. Please support your font makers. Please don't be afraid to spread the word of the smaller guys. Everybody has something fantastic to offer. Do it. And as always, may the fours always be with you. We'll catch you guys hopefully on the next Font Makers live stream. If not, we will see you next week on The Usual Suspects.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Jedi.
Later.
Bye, Jeff.
peace
Thank
out.
you.